you guys, guess what? Today is a special day. We're just gonna hang out, you and me. We're gonna go old school. I think this is kind of how I used to do thrift videos, and that's how I'm gonna do it today. I am kind of just rolling. It's Friday afternoon. I'm gonna go for a little thrift trip, take you guys with me. It's really gonna be about us hanging out and chatting along the way. If you haven't heard, June 6th, my new website launches. The new Be Jones style will be here. To kind of celebrate that happening, I thought we would kind of take a little bit of a trip down memory lane. I want to kind of share a little bit about what the last 12 years has been like for me and do one of my favorite things, which is to go thrift shopping. And I just want you guys to hang out with me. So it's going to be kind of a fun day. I think we'll start first by doing what I used to always do. Haven't done it in a while, but today, for you and me, to be a little bit special, to celebrate, I'm gonna go get a Diet Coke with lemon. So let's do that first. Some of you may have just kind of joined in the last few years, or even today. It might be the first video that you're ever watching of mine. Crazy thing is, I have been doing this, not necessarily YouTube, but I've been doing fashion blogging since January 2007. I launched a website called The Vintage Society, which I won't go into all the details with that, but basically at the time I was considering opening a vintage store called The Vintage Society. And that was, I mean, you guys, there was nothing. There was no social media or websites. And that was pretty much it. Oh, MySpace had launched. We're driving, so this could be a little shaky. MySpace had launched. I was considering, always wanted to kind of get myself into the fashion industry, but had no connections. Back then, there was no way to kind of just break in necessarily unless you had connections into the, you know, I'd gone to fashion school or had connections to people in the fashion industry, and I didn't. And so I thought the way I could get my foot in the door was to open a shop and then, you know, start styling and start creating from there. I thought it would be a good idea to spend a year trying to figure out, like, what does that store look like? You know, get my ducks in a row, do some research, look for spaces. But I thought, oh, it'd be really great if I could have a website. So that way, in the course of that year, I could start to tell people that I met, you know, I'm gonna open a store, you can go visit my website, you can sign up for an email, and then, you know, when I open a store, you'll get an email and you'll find out. Well, I found these things called blogs, Blogspot in particular. I thought, oh, this is free. I don't have money right now to design a website for a store that doesn't exist, so I'll start a blog, which back then, it wasn't like I knew I was starting a blog. I just knew that Blogspot was free. I could start creating something there. I had seen some fashion blogs, not how they are now, but versions of blogs starting to happen in that time around 2007 with a group on Flickr, which was a photo streaming site. And there was a group on there called Wardrobe Remix where girls were taking, you know, very low quality photos, but photos of what they were wearing. And it really was more of just like, here's what I'm wearing. Pause, here's my Diet Coke. Hi, can I get a medium Diet Coke with a lemon? Oh, people were sharing their outfits. It was very much like you would go outside, maybe in front of your garage, and take a picture with a point and shoot camera of your outfit. And that was all it was. And so through that, I did see that people were linking to things, and there were some little, you know, blogs popping up. And so I started, at the time, the Vintage Society.blogspot.com, the beginning audience, through posting my photo in Wardrobe Remix of like what I was wearing. I saw this as a way to draw people to the Vintage Society.blogspot.com to talk about the store that I was going to open. And I did show my personal style. Pause. Thank you. So I kind of was like, oh, I like how these people are posting their photos. That's a great way for me to, you know, show people how I wear vintage so that I can show them what my store is going to be about, because I wanted it to be called the Vintage Society, and I definitely wanted to sell vintage, but I wanted to show it in this way that was very much about, you know, how I dress now, which is, you know, modernized and not retro in the sense that I am trying to look like I'm from the 40s or whatever. And so I started posting my photos in the Wardrobe Remix group on Flickr. All of a sudden, I had people visiting the Vintage Society blog, and that is where it all began. I started, you know, posting on my blog, showing how I wear vintage. And over the course of that year, I started to realize I don't know if I actually want to open a store. Financially, it was looking like a huge risk. I was realizing how much my time would just be consumed with the store, and really I wanted it to be a platform for me to be able to get into more styling and things like that. And during the course of that year, I found out about an opportunity with Quiksilver. Quiksilver is a surf brand, which you guys probably know about, but they were launching a women's line, and they were looking for women to basically represent the brand. Like, you know, Quiksilver Men's is represented by Kelly Slater, who's a really famous surfer, and so they wanted to kind of have the face of the women's brand. And what was really cool and super unique, and this was not happening, it happens all the time now, but back then they were calling it Visionaries in Residence, and they were looking for a group of women that were entrepreneurial, had a vision, you know, to start something, and creative, and they wanted to kind of basically have those women represent what the women's brand was all about. I saw this opportunity and I was like, oh, that's so cool. That's so much about what I'm about. I want to open the store. I have this vision for like the Vintage Society and what that could be. I applied and really did not even kind of think I had a chance, but applied and I got accepted into the first round of interviews. And so I went into interviews. That turned into being accepted into the next round, and the final round was me going up to LA, and I met with a team of women. I met with a panel of women, and they were all entrepreneurial women. It was very cool, like the designer of the brand and the marketing of the brand, but then also, I can't remember all of them, but there was an interior designer and a fashion designer, and basically they were there on couches interviewing me and what the Vintage Society was all about. I ended up getting the position or the opportunity. So I became a visionary in residence for Quiksilver Women's, which meant that they opened up a loft building in LA for me, and then there were 5 other women to basically kind of use however we wanted. So it was kind of an event space, and then we were allowed to work out of there, and then they basically said, like, what do you want to do and how can we help you do that? Which was unbelievable. And so for me, I was, you know, all about Vintage Society blog, and then I was wanting to do styling, and I wanted to do pop-up shops. So they helped me launch a few pop-up shops there in the space that were really successful. The coolest thing is they basically kind of brought me in-house to go and do so much of what the team was doing. So I went to New York and did press previews and got to be on shoots and helping to style, and so I was really getting to do everything that I had wanted to do and wanted the Vintage Society store to be helping me do, and it was starting to happen, and with the help of the blog, it was starting to happen without me having to do that. And so kind of through the course of that year, and once I became a visionary in residence, I decided I don't think I'm going to open a store. I think I'm going to kind of pursue what this is. When people pursue that now, they kind of know what it could turn into, or they see other people doing it. But again, back then, nobody was doing anything like that. It was all new. I did that for a year, and then I ended up becoming the online fashion editor for the Quiksilver Women's brand. So that meant I basically ran their blog and kind of stepped in almost as if it was like a social media consultant for them, which we didn't, again, know what social media was. But I was a blogger, and so we were realizing the power that blogs have, and that I was starting to see other women start blogs, and how much we can use the blog to, you know, help spread the brand awareness and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And so I basically kind of started creating all these different marketing campaigns with Quiksilver to do just that. So we started bringing together bloggers, which is all the stuff you're seeing now all the time at the first brand doing it, because that wasn't happening. So it was a really exciting time, and I was watching how, you know, amazing this was, and it was so much about, it was like a pioneer. We were pioneers, and we were just kind of making things up as we went, and it was amazing. I spent I think 5 years doing all kinds of stuff with Quicksilver. During the course of that time, I realized, you know, I wasn't opening the store. The Vintage Society name didn't really make sense for me anymore. And so I rebranded to Be Joan Style, which is what I am now. And so I thought, hey, it's got my name in it, it's got style in it, and that can kind of take me wherever I need to go. And the funny thing is, you would think I would have been kind of clued into realizing the blogging was becoming a business, but I kind of didn't, because I was helping another brand work with bloggers. I didn't actually see myself as the blogger to work with the brand for some reason, but finally I kind of clued in and realized that was happening. And so I ended up kind of pivoting and making my focus Be Joan Style and making my focus work with brands, and I ended up signing with an agency. And that's really when my blog became my business, and I started to work with all different companies and had some really amazing opportunities and experiences. And then kind of things started to turn. I, at that point, had been doing it for a really long time, maybe 7 or 8 years at that point. Things were changing in the whole blogging world and the way that bloggers were supposed to create content, and even it became much more about shopping, what bloggers were wearing, and I always have worn, you know, secondhand and thrift and vintage and all of that, and so that wasn't really working for me anymore. And I just got really burnt out. And I also went through a period of time just where, you know, it became about, social media became the thing, and so it became about how many people were following you and all those things that we all know a lot now, but that was just the beginning of that really becoming a big deal. And I just, honestly, I got really burnt out. I also, during that time, got pregnant with my first son, which for me, pregnancy was really difficult. Having babies is not my favorite thing in the world. I love my children, but pregnancy is really hard for me, and then I'm not a huge baby person. And if you're a mom, you kind of know those first few years can be really all-consuming. So I kind of started to pull away from blogging, and even just kind of the direction that it had taken. I just wasn't interested in being part of it in that way anymore. And mainly it was also just taking such a toll on me. I was like, this isn't healthy anymore. Like, what? I don't know if I want to do something that I feel like I'm not loving it the way I used to. And so I really pushed pause. And which is the worst thing that you can do in this business of blogging. You can't push pause. You know, you're supposed to not be able to push pause, and you're supposed to be super consistent, and I really did. And I did lose a lot during that time. I lost a lot of the, you know, network that I'd built and the opportunities, and even just like didn't, you know, of course, grow in a time where everyone was starting to grow, because I really slowed down. But the coolest thing is that I really kind of poured into the life here and now, the tangible life, my kids, my family, friends, my spiritual life. It was super building for me and growing, almost like refilling in a way that I needed to kind of be refilled. What was really cool is that I was pregnant with my second son. I was just doing a lot of sitting around because pregnancy, like I said, is not my jam. And I kind of stumbled back into the world of YouTube. Of course, I knew you could do tutorials and see that, but I realized YouTube was creating this world of vlogging, and people were telling their stories and letting you into their world in a way that I hadn't really seen. And I was also at a place where I was looking for magic out there. I was like, I want something, because I remember when blogging started, it really felt magical. And it was like every day something new was happening, or you were so excited to see like what people were doing and developing and what they were wearing and all of it. And it was like I kind of lost some of that magic, and so it was like I was looking for magic, and I just wasn't finding what I was looking for. And then I was thinking about just when I used to watch Sex and the City, how much that was magic for me, and how it sparked something in my brain that totally ignited something for me in my personal style. And even just, I don't know, it was magical to watch it. I was watching YouTube, I was searching for magic, and I was like, you know what? I think I want to start a YouTube channel and try to kind of create this magical world that I guess I'm looking for, and bring women into like how I approach personal style, and take them in, you know, to my closet and thrifting and whatever, and just like create the magic that I experience with getting dressed, and hope that somebody else kind of gets that magic too and feels like they can bring it into their everyday. That's what I did. and you guys have been part of that. So I think that was in like 2015 or 16, somewhere in there. I just started creating videos every single week, and I made a commitment that I would start doing that, and I did, and I haven't stopped. It has been unbelievable just what has come out of it. And I went in, honestly, having been doing this world for a very long time, but I was very much at the bottom in terms of like what I'm supposed to look like as a blogger. So I kind of had to start from scratch, and I loved that because it was actually really freeing. I just went in to create magic, and I wasn't worrying about numbers or any of it. I happened to, at the end of one of my videos, sign off always play dress up, and that was it. Bam. Once I said that, I realized that's what this is all about. This channel is all about. It's just like that idea of just playing dress up and having fun. And what's cool is that I've heard back from you guys, like that's what you're experiencing, is that you are experiencing the magic, and it isn't me and what I do, but it's that you kind of grab that magic and then take it into your life. And that's my favorite thing, is to hear that from you guys. And that brings us to today, right before my new website launches. And basically I'm at the point now where I want to be able to create more for you guys, more of this magic, and grow Be Joan Style past me out to you guys. And launching my new website's kind of the beginning of that, and there's going to be some things on my website that are just an extension of this community of Always Play Dress Up, and more ways for you to be inspired, more things for you guys to be able to kind of feel like you are part of the community by maybe being able to wear some things that cheer on the spirit of always playing dress up. And this is just the beginning. I cannot wait. I have so many ideas. Next week when my website launches, there will be the beginnings of what's to come. It's just more of the magic, more of inspiration, more. I cannot wait. And now we've arrived at the thrift store. It's basically like we just went for a drive, and I told you my whole story over the last 12 years in a very short amount of time. So we're just gonna go thrifting together. I'll just kind of see what I can find, and you guys will come with me, but it's basically gonna just be like you're my thrift buddy for the day. Let's take a sip of Diet Coke together. And let's go in the store. We are at Goodwill in Orange County. This is just one of the ones I always go to because it's close to my house. I'm not really, you know, looking for anything in particular. I'm just gonna kind of go along and see what I can find. Where do you guys always start? I usually, for some reason, go straight to the dresses unless I'm walking in looking for something in particular. But today I'm gonna start in dresses because that's kind of usually where I start. Found a few cute dresses. This is an old Guess dress. It's really cute. It might be a little too short for me, but it's cute. This could be a cool wrap dress. We will see in the dressing room. Very Carrie. I can see this with an amazing belt. So it's a little bit oversized and misshapen, but with a really great belt. And even oversized, I feel like it could be really cool because I could leave it unbuttoned and let it slouch. So I'll try it on for you guys. Once again, Liz Claiborne comes in. They're a little big, but maybe could work. They're high waist pinstripe trousers, but maybe with a really good belt I could cinch it in, and it could have like a really great balloon shape. You guys know how I love my Liz. So I did dresses. I think I'm just, you know, I usually then probably go to pants because I love a good trouser. Also have a few things in mind. Like I want to find an oversized men's Hawaiian shirt that I can kind of maybe wear more as a dress. I've really been into shoes from the 90s. If you have the weekly scoop email, you probably have seen that. That's what I'm digging right now when it comes to shoes. So I'm gonna check out the shoes for sure too. I feel like recently also I've been like more nostalgic about my style and like returning to some of the things that I've always loved, which I don't feel like I haven't changed my style, and there's always consistent themes, but I just was thinking about like some of the eras of like being inspired by, you know, Carrie Bradshaw, and then Catherine Baba. If you've never seen her, she's amazing. And recently I watched Sex and the City, and I just like remembered being inspired by certain things that she always wore, which I'm always kind of touching on, but I feel like it brought me back a little bit more to like when I first started to fall in love with her style. And one of the things I feel like she always just worked with really weird, quirky things. So example of that, I think these might be a version of like a long short PJ pant. I don't know, these could be really cool. I just found some really cute skirts. peachy tone and they're flowy, maybe with a crop top or blazer. I'm just hopping around to different sections now, letting, you know, anything that catches my eye, I'm pulling it out. I'm not like digging through every single thing. I did just find this. Which is kind of what I was talking about, like an oversized kind of tropical print shirt. I want to try it on and see if it's what I really want, but this is a good option. Just found this kind of different. I think it probably went with a dress or something, but it's this little puff sleeve cropped jacket. Let's see. I don't have a ton. Today didn't result in a ton. This is be more of a quick thrift day anyway, and so I'm gonna start trying things on. So these are the Liz Claiborne pants, which they are too big, but because they're a paper bag waist, I can make them work. They're more balloony because of that, but actually that makes me like it maybe even a little bit more, because I think for summer especially, you tuck in a really tight tank top, and then this is exaggerated and this is more tailored up top. But I just love these. I mean, you guys know I love a good trouser, and these are really good. Really fun. I tried on the skirts, which are really fun, and then I actually just tried on the printed shirt with it, which actually made me really like it. At first I wasn't sure I loved them. I still don't know if I'm gonna get the skirts because I don't know, like the length is not my favorite kind of length. It did look fun with this, but I do think I'm gonna get this shirt because this is just great. This is so me. Like, these PJ pants remind me so much of something I would have done in the beginning blogging days. I actually really love this, and I actually love this outfit. Maybe not these shoes with this, but I think these are so fun, these little pants. And then with a big oversized shirt, I don't know, they're just kind of like weird and great. Just want to wear this outfit. This was a last minute find as I was walking in, and this might be my favorite find. This jacket is insane. The color, the crazy good shoulder pads, the little part that hangs out here. I even love it with these pants. Again, I'm feeling some of my OG magic of the OG days. Very Carrie. Some Manolos with this. Throwing on the pearls, even the pony. Yep, I need a tan. Sorry for the white skin, but I thought this was going to be a no, and then I put it on and it's amazing. And I actually I mean, I wouldn't really wear it with this maybe, but yes, 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 yes. I feel like I'm just finding so much Carrie goodness. I don't know if you guys are feeling it. Maybe it's the ponytail. It's giving me Carrie vibes today, but yes, I love this. This dress is actually really fun. I didn't know if it would be this great. I don't know if I'm gonna end up getting it or not though. I know you guys are probably gonna be like, why don't you get it? But I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. This dress is really fun. When you throw a belt on with it, it's actually buttons all the way down the front, which I always love a dress that has buttons all the way down the front. And I actually like it in this more oversized because I can even like leave this unbuttoned and let it slouch to the side. Try different belts with it. I love the graphic print of this. Very fun. This is so cute. It's way too short, but oh my gosh, it's really cute. I cannot even hardly move in it, but it's so cute. I actually decided not to get the dress. It was $10. I didn't get any of the dresses, but I got all the other amazing things except for the peach shorts. That's it, you guys. That was really fun. I really felt like you guys were my thrift buddy today and just kind of chit-chatting along the way. I also am really excited about the pieces that I just found today. And I think because I'm doing this launch of a new website, Newbie Jones Style, you know, it's making me a little bit nostalgic, all the era leading up to this, the 12 years leading up to this. And I think even that kind of made me reflect a little bit on my personal style and the things that originally have always inspired me. And that was fun today because I feel like I found pieces that really kind of tap back into the things that I've always loved. And I hope you guys enjoyed hearing a little bit about my story, a little bit about my journey of over the last 12 years. And honestly, you guys have made this some magic that I was hoping to be creating. You guys are what turned it into that magic, because I just, by hearing the ways that this channel has inspired you, affected you, brought joy into your life, and sparked new ideas for you, that is magic to me. And that's why I'm launching something new next week, is because I want to be able to provide even more for you guys. You'll hear next week on the 6th, you'll hear all about the new things that I've got in store for you guys. They are just the beginning of so much more to come. It's only a week away. I cannot wait. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave your comments below. Let me know just, I don't know, any thoughts that you have as you joined me as my thrift buddies today. Maybe the conversation that was brewing in your head while I chatted, and send me DMs on Instagram, whatever you want. Please subscribe to my channel, and let's say those magical little words together. Always play dress up, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!